Second. Second. Sweet. I don't know what my headphones are at, but whatever. Alright, let's go. So I know that this looks cursed as fuck. Oh my god, I didn't even finish the drawing. I was meant to finish the liner before I started the stream. I thought I did finish it. I did not. So we might not even get to rendering here. Oh, whoops. Let me see, is YouTube chat saying anything? Nope. Just had to make sure. Let's go. Forgot to finish the line art. This drawing. Am I cooking or am I cooking? I don't know what makes good or bad. No, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. It's just that um it's not done or anything. I mean, I don't even have the eyes. God dang it. I was supposed to do all this. Yes, it looks so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You think I should have stuck with the original sketch? Just make him look like this? I think that you can tell who this is. Depends on how realistic you want it. No, I do want it realistic. I think you can tell who this is, and that's a compliment in itself. Or at least if I told you that it was like if I showed you this and then said that it was Will Arnett, I think you would believe me. I don't know who anyone is. Well, yeah, you might not know who Will Arnett is. This is the voice of Lego Batman. Yeah. Oh, my stream went away. You having a good day, Jonah? Yeah, my day's alright. I had like a I don't know 11 shift yesterday, so that was fucking great. I wish I wasn't broke. I wish I could afford to not do that. Looking for managing positions now. So maybe I'll become a fucking McDonald's manager. I told him I'm down. So if he hits me up and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down to interview you," then there we go. Wait, who? Sorry, your mic cut out? Oh, my mic? Who the hell is Mike? Um, my boss. My boss was like, "Hey, we need an overnight manager. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Yep." And he said, "Okay, I'll let you know. If I think you're able to fill that position, you know." So maybe I'll be a fucking McDonald's manager. Yo, I'll be honest. His bottom teeth is kind of fucked. His bottom teeth is kind of fucked. Would it be more hours? No, but it'd be higher pay. I already get 40 hours. Sometimes I get overtime. That's good that I think. 40 hours already, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I do more, a little bit more than that. Me too, but because sometimes they just need me to stay longer. 15 on target and I want to quit. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have like rent and shit. You know what I mean? Bills, man. And Bill sucks. Sorry, Bill doesn't suck. There's not like a guy named Bill that I don't like. Whoa, I just realized his Cupid's fuck, what's that thing called? The thing under your nose? What's that called? Cupid's fucking thing? Yeah, fair. I do have school though. Yeah, you also have school. Yeah. You gotta balance a lot of shit. You know what it's called? I can't remember what this is. It's called. It's like Cupid's fucking nose. It's Cupid's nose. That's the name. I'm gonna look it up. What's the thing under your nose called? Swear to God, if it says mouth, I'm gonna kill somebody. The Philtrum? Okay, hold on. They had some other fucking name. Cupid's bow. It's Cupid's bow. Yeah, you were right. You were right. It's called the Philtrum, like actually, but I've actually never heard it called that. By the way, I'm in a VC if you want to join me. Your phone. Gotcha. You're gonna eat steak. Uh, Looking for a different job. Yeah. I'm just like for a second. It's hard to find a job. Uh, I mean, now I'm not honestly suggesting this, but if you really want to, you could just get a job at McDonald's. They'd hire you. I went in there. They were like, "Hey, are you free every day?" And I said yes. And then they said, "Okay, when can you start?" And that was it. That was the interview. It was the shortest interview I've ever had. The manager was your neighbor. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They were kind of just like, "Hey, what up? Sorry, I'm required to give you an interview." Like the eyes, dude. The eyes always suck. Playing Among Us in real life. Like the eyes. Yeah, I put it to a country club today that is like 30 minutes away but pays more. How much does it pay? Well, indeed, it says 1822, but in the job listing, it reports as just 18. Yeah, if I'm honest with you, normally when it gives you a range, it's always just the lowest number. Almost always. Yeah, very true. Yeah. two more than what I'm making now. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm not like saying it's a bad number. It's just excited for a possible 30-minute drive. Yeah, honestly though, I think worth doing an interview. Worst case, you just don't go there. You know what I mean? It's always worth doing an interview there. Because maybe they're like, hey, I really like you. We'll pay you $20. I'm head out. Yeah. See you later, man. Yeah, you too. Wait. Sorry, you have a good rest of your day. Not stream. You're not streaming. Whatever, you knew what I meant. Why did switch? That spells eat my dust. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That spells eat my dust. Should I have music on? I don't really want music on. I'll just share some stories, just to not bore you guys. Let's share some work stories because I feel like talking about it. And what better time to talk about it than? Sorry, I'm just I just mean I want to talk about it with somebody, and who better to talk about it with than the strangers of the internet? My job can suck sometimes, honestly. I have a pretty like shitty general manager. Nobody really likes him though. Um, but like my actual bosses, they're cool. They're cool as fuck. They're, yeah, it's just like, dude, my whoa, like my he's really fucking funny, dude. if I do something that like isn't allowed, but he doesn't care about it, he'll like tisk at me. He'll go, "You can't hear it." Um, but yeah, he'll tisk at me and he'll go, "Can't believe you did that." And it's funny as fuck every time. Yeah, but my regular manager's just kind of like a dick. Honestly, that's pretty much all I can say about him. So that is like a good boss, but the problem is that she's working at a McDonald's, so nobody fucking cares about their job. Like I'm pretty sure if anyone got fired, they would just be like, "Yeah, okay, all right, it's time to find a new job." Like nobody fucking cares about working at McDonald's, and Lisa hates that. Oh shit! I just doxed her name. I did not mean to say that. Whatever. Fucking rude ass customers, and you'd think like, dude, you're at a fucking McDonald's. Is it ever that deep? Does it ever matter that much? Sweet. Shit, man, I think this is it. Am I forgetting anything? Huh. Yeah, I didn't actually do the inside of his eyes. That's probably pretty important. So, let's did I not save it? Now for the actual rendering part. Let's go. Everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite part. Yeah, so if you can't tell, I'm learning the hard way. I'm brute forcing it. No tutorial for today. Let's just get the neck. It's a good base color for the skin. What if I just rip the color straight off of him? Fuck yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Let me get this here, just so I know exactly what the base color is. Wait, no, I don't want to erase that. What am I talking about, dude? What am I doing? Oh, I'm on eraser. Okay. Big mask? Where's the mask? Living group. So if I go like this, yeah, sweet. Now we need airbrush. Or maybe let's just get like, what about this? No, that's a pure color, right? Pure color again. Uh, Obviously, I wouldn't want to get too dark. No, maybe I'll just try airbrush. Let's look at airbrush. I'm seeing, it's working. Well, wait, I need to get a color palette first. Too light. Oh, light enough. Yeah. Why do these colors look so damn similar? What's happening? Hold on a second. What the fuck? Am I using the wrong fucking brush? Fuck is happening to my brush? Oh my god, because I have the stupid. Dude. Oh my god, this whole time. I was so confused. I think this should be on its own layer. I'll be like, select, invert selection, delete. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. We're chilling, we're chilling. Here, let me go on here. Boom. Oh my god, did I not get a close enough color? Did I really go too dark? Honestly, like this. Maybe I should redo this whole thing. I want to do. We're gonna be at 70% opacity the whole time. Let's see how that looks. No, actually, that's not even low enough. Boom, 50. This looks like shit. I think I just didn't get close enough colors. What if I just. It's got an accident. God damn it. How the fuck do you render? Maybe I should have looked at a tutorial because looks like shit. What if I'm just using the wrong tool? Should be watching a YouTube video. Okay. You know what we're doing? We're watching a video.
Have you ever wondered how these amazing artists are able to render so many different types of materials so flawlessly? I'm here to answer that question and tell you how you can do it too. First, let's set a definition for rendering, so we're all on the same page. I'd say something like this. Rendering is the process of taking a rough sketch or line art and adding light, shadow, and texture needed to make it look like a finished, polished image. First, let's cross out the biggest mistake of all, trying to render from your head. Big no-no. Use references. I cannot emphasize this enough. No, you aren't cheating. Any artist you ever see has used references. When you use them, you're learning how light reacts to the surface depending on the material you're trying to render. Let's have an example from where are the shadows located based on the lighting. Once we have analyzed the lighting, try to draw it in yourself. You can even do this exercise with me following the reference I have on screen, or your own. Now that we have blocked in the lights and shadows, let's add in the midtones, which are basically the transition from light to dark soon. But to summarize here, touches added in I'll just speed it up, which are basically the transition from light to dark. For the finalizing touches, here I'll just speed it up since I'll give a more in-depth explanation soon. But to summarize here, I add in the details I've noticed that make rocks unique. The cracks. Notice how it's not pitch black. There's some notice that make rocks unique. The cracks. Notice how it's not pitch black. There is light shining through the cracks. That's what I mean by analyzing the reference of what you're drawing. Using a textured brush, I'll add in more detail and ta-da! We have our rock. I've never drawn a rock before, but using this method I was able to. So, what did I just show you? It's value. Value is simply how light or dark a color is. It's what transforms a flat-looking shape into a 3D object, by showing where the light hits and where the shadows fall. Think of it as the volume knob for light. Any color? Well, think of it like this. Value is the structure of your house. Color is just the paint. If your values are correct, if your lights are bright and your shadows are deep, then you can just add on the colors.
Coloring is super complex and requires tons of knowledge, but this video will give you the simplest breakdown on how to start coloring better immediately and understanding why it works. After watching this video, I guarantee your very next drawing will look way better than what you can currently do. I understand how frustrating it is to learn and study but not see results when you draw, so everything I say in this video is stuff you can start applying immediately. Disclaimer, some of these techniques can hold you back a bit if you rely on them too much. So I am begging you to continue learning past this video. This is just meant to give you a bit of a head start by teaching you some valuable basics and how to apply them, because knowledge you can't apply how to draw 100 submissions. A trend is some fundamentals, like you'll have a very rendered face, but all coloring. So how? Okay, you should understand now that value is the most important part of coloring. So how do I turn this into a color image? I'll give you 3 methods. But method number 3 should be the one you do most of the time. I'm gonna go from simplest to hardest. Method number 1 is gradient maps. I know not everyone has this option, so I'll keep it super brief. When painting, either separate everything into different layers or cut it afterwards. Trust me, this will help a lot. Create gradient maps with your colors of choice and done. Pro tip, only leave pure black and pure white at the very end of these gradient maps. And choose a slightly warmer or cooler version of the shadow and highlight colors to avoid a flat and boring looking image. More on that later. This looks really good on inanimate objects. It is significantly hard to make skin look lively and good with just gradient maps. Using blending modes like color, multiply, and overlay gives you a bit more control over specific areas, which can be useful when you are drawing a character that has, well, skin, to ensure they have blood flow and all the other intricacies that make human skin look alive. This method does run the risk of either looking too bright or too desaturated still, since your base color is still gray. You can remedy this by changing the base color from gray to maybe red. You can do this by clipping a color layer on top of the black and white base layer. But the real way and the best way of doing this is doing everything from scratch. Always making sure to think of your colors more as values than just colors. If you absolutely need to, organize your colors just like we did our values and paint that way. Oil painters do this, so there's no shame. Except now, we have to consider chroma or saturation. Saturation is good to create emphasis or visual intrigue. Even if you aren't making a full-blown painting with a focus point and just drawing your OCs in a black void, your character may have a focus point. Character design is a science, and the quality of a character design may be suffering if you don't put in the effort to learn it. One of these principles that can help is the 60-30-10 rule. This applies for any kind of design you can think of. Painting compositions, interior design, character designs, anything. Basically, you have one main color that you use for 60% of the design, a secondary color that is used for 30% of the design, and an accent color that is used for 10% of the design. The accent color is usually the one with the highest impact or the most saturated. The website you're on right now uses this. 60% of it is black or white, depending on if you're on dark mode or a crazy person. 30% is the color of the fonts you see throughout the site, and 10, the accent color, is the red YouTube logo. The two main colors usually set the stage for the accent color to shine. This doesn't mean that all your designs must have 3 colors. You can do 4 or 5 or whatever you want, but this is a good baseline to truly understand what makes a design appealing and sort of the balance you have to respect when designing a painting or a character.
There we go. Grayscale filtered the whole image. Filter colors alpha black white. Nope. Uh, filter. How the fuck do you grayscale?
So we will use assign to the key control Y. And when you press it Y to get back to normal and not soft proofing mode, there is a little notification YK profile here. I will set up image property
Image properties. Soundproofing, grayscale. Boom! Yeah, I think there's too much of just one color here for it not being, like a flat surface. Boom. But it is still like a rounded shape, so maybe if I go like this. Shit, dude, this looks good. Whoa, voice crack. Okay, hold on. Let me. We're going to erase this. And we're just going to use these colors. Yo, am I fucking cooking or am I cooking, dude? Okay. Oh, okay.
Another way to group your colors is to
Oh, wait,
group them
hold
by
on.
saturation rather than color, but that's besides the point. I've gotten comments before about how people think that I make art sound like math with my explanations, but I hate to break it to you guys, it is math, but that means there's formulas and solutions. So you don't have to be scared if you ever feel lost. Okay, so how do we apply this to an actual character? Here's a bit of a personal lazy artist cheat code I like doing. I will cover the whole drawing in my main color. Usually it's the skin tone, but this could be another more dominant color like the atmosphere color if there's a special lighting situation going on. After that, I begin to add all my other colors on a separate layer. And then I turn the opacity down just a bit. This accomplishes a lot of things. It makes the color palette a bit more cohesive and unified, and also it centralizes our values. I'm imitating what we did in the beginning, where we only used values 2, 3, and 4 to draw, but with colors this time. I've effectively given myself more space between my base colors and the frontier colors, black and white, without significantly affecting how my colors are perceived, which is the absolute most
Yeah. Mhm. Wait, wait, wait. Am I cooking? Whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, 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 yes. Save, why'd you close it out though? Hold on. Good thing that it asked me to save, dude. Imagine if I just never saved it and lost all my fucking progress. I probably would have given up on this one.
Most important lesson that you will take away from this video: how a color is perceived is more important than the color that it is. If you've ever color picked from an image, you've probably been surprised by how wrong the colors feel, because to you, they look a certain way, but when color picked, they're not that color. This is called color relativity, and we don't have to go into that right
Hmm. Something like this. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I think I need a break. I think I'm done for today. And I hope everybody